Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over Amtrak bucket list itineraries.
So this year on Amtrak, we did one of our bucket list itineraries, which was 3 different routes, and it took us 14 days to do it, and it was an amazing trip. And a lot of people have asked us, how did you put this together? And so we're going to share with you what that itinerary was and go over 2 other really incredible itineraries that we would also like to do, and kind of give you the details on how to plan out a big Amtrak vacation for yourself. So the first one that we did, we started in Los Angeles, and we did kind of a trip all around the country. This was a circle itinerary. So we started in California, ended in California, and it took us 14 days to do, and we rode 3 big name trains. That's the first tip that I have for you. If you're doing itineraries, vacations, stick to named trains. They have names for a reason. They don't just put names on, the really bad trains. So, and you want to get the ones that have observation cars, because you'll get better things to see, and they're just better experiences altogether. So all of the trains that we're going to mention today fall into that category of ones that you should be looking into. So you can start this itinerary in any of these cities, either LA, Seattle, or Chicago, and just do a round trip from there. So the first one that we went on was the Coast Starlight, which took 1 night to get from LA to Seattle.
Yes, and once we got to Seattle, we had a few days before we could get on the next train, so we rented a car and we did a couple of national parks. We went up and we got to see Mount Rainier, and we also got to do North Cascades. Got to explore those for a couple days, and it was really quite simple, and it was easy right there. King Street Station in Seattle is easily accessible, and if there's sports going on and you can go and attend a game, there's also some sports available right there near the station.
Yep. And so from Seattle, you're going to jump on the Empire Builder, which is a really cool train. It traces the Lewis and Clark route. People don't think of this as being a scenic train, but it does pass by Glacier National Park, Puget Sound, Mississippi River, Big Sky Country. It's really a great train.
It's beautiful.
And so when you get off that one, after 2 nights and 3 days, you're going to be in Chicago.
Yes, and the great thing I think about landing in Chicago is you are right in the heart of the city at Union Station there in Chicago. So you can literally just walk anywhere in the middle of the city there, easily grab either public transportation or an Uber or a taxi to any of the nearby attractions. There's hotels, restaurants. Everything is really close to that Union Station there in Chicago, which is going to make it fairly easy for you to hang around for a few days. We actually, because we've been to Chicago many times, decided not to hang out in Chicago, so we rented a car and we actually drove out of the state.
Yeah.
For a couple of days. We actually went back and sort of retraced our train journey. We went to South Dakota to go do Mount Rushmore and the Wind Caves and all that kind of fun stuff. So
yeah. So after you spend your time in Chicago, you'll be hopping on the California Zephyr, which is another 2-night, 3-day train, and that will take you all the way back to California, ending at the Emeryville station in San Francisco.
Yes, so since you're going to be in Emeryville, and they do call that San Francisco, but you're not really in San Francisco, you very easily can grab the bus right outside the Emeryville station. It will actually take you to San Francisco proper, if that is actually your final destination. So you don't have to get that part of the transportation. But the beautiful thing about the Emeryville station was that we were able to just walk right out, and we could see our hotel right when we got off of the train, and just walk right to it. Lots of restaurants right there in the area, or you can get something delivered to you. But there's lots to do there, and in the massive Bay Area, so much to do there. So you're really your only problem is going to be that there's too many options of things that you can do there.
And while you're on that train, don't forget that the California Zephyr is probably the best route Amtrak has to offer. So that's the reason that we picked this as our bucket list itinerary. Was the California Zephyr is not to be missed if you've not been on it. You go through the Colorado Rockies, you go through the Colorado Gorges, all the canyons. It is extremely beautiful. So that's the first itinerary, which is just a round trip. The second itinerary is going to be a little bit similar, and that's a round trip, but you're going to hit the southern part of the country instead of the northern part of the country. So this one, you're going to start out in Chicago again, which is a big hub, and you're going to take that all the way to Los Angeles on the Southwest Chief.
Right, and so you'll end up at the Los Angeles Union Station, and it's actually a really great station. I was very surprised at how much of it has been preserved and restored over the years, so that's a great place to land. They do have a Metropolitan Lounge there, which is fantastic as well, and of course there's so much to do in LA. There's really not a lot. You're not going to be bored there either.
And then once you spend a couple days in LA, you'll hop on the Sunset Limited, take that train all the way to New Orleans, which you're going to see all kinds of great things about the Southwest. You'll be skirting right along the border of the U.S.-Mexico border and ending up with a couple days to spend in New Orleans.
Yes, and there's plenty to do in New Orleans. You've probably heard of it, and if you have not been there, it is quite a treat to be there and to just be able to walk around the French Quarter and, of course, eat some beignets and some food there. There's so much to enjoy in New Orleans that, again, you're not going to be bored, and you'll have plenty of options of things to do.
And then from New Orleans to get back to Chicago where you started, you'll hop on the City of New Orleans train, and that'll take you right back up, and you'll be seeing much of the heartland of America, going through probably a lot of places you haven't possibly driven through because the trains don't necessarily run on a different part than the roads sometimes. So you'll see a lot of the country that you've never seen before.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Probably my favorite part of being on the Amtrak trains is, it's kind of cool when it runs alongside the highway, but the best part is when it kind of cuts into all these places that you would never see, and a lot of places we'd never even heard of that we got to see that you wouldn't normally see if you were driving on a road trip.
And the last bucket list itinerary we've put together is a coast to coast, which is the classic. I'm going to see the entire country, and you're going to start out in San Francisco on this one, on the California Zephyr. That's going to take you all the way to Chicago, and then from there, you're going to hop on the Cardinal, and it's going to take you to New York City, passing by Washington, D.C., Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and all kinds of cities in the east.
Yeah, so you're gonna on this train, it's just a two-leg train, but you're gonna get to see a really interesting and very different part of the United States, bigger cities that you'll be going through as well, some iconic cities as well.
Yeah, you'll hit most of the major cities of the U.S. On that route. So those are our 3 bucket list itineraries. We hope you enjoyed that. We hope you get to do one of those itineraries soon. If you have different bucket lists, let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and like the video, and thank you for watching.